G'day and welcome to another Breakdown Wednesday where I take cosplay suggestions, cosplay designs if you will, and break them down as if I was going to create it. And then at the end of the video, we discuss whether or not I would do this and whether or not it would actually break me. So let's talk about today's one, which is Grell from Butler. Now, this particular one is interesting because it has been asked of me to break it down as if it was a transforming costume, because Grell starts off as the meek and humble butler and then turns into the wonderful reaper that we know him as. So let's get started, shall we? Let's talk about firstly what is the same and what is different. So the first thing that is the same is the tie and also the shirts as well. So you can keep those the same. Also the pants. And that's basically all that stays the same. Wonderful. So let's talk about actually his demon form first, I think. Yeah, let's do that. But not demon, Reaper. Terrible. So for this one, okay, this is going to be our main cosplay because this is how we know Grell. He is the Reaper who is obsessed with Bessie, aka Sebastian, and so, you know, most of the time this is what we would see him as. So for this, okay, we know that we need the black pants and the shirt and the tie. Or the little bow ribbon thing. Okay, now honestly, there are many patterns for male and female, patterns that are out there that you could use, that you could create these. These are nothing special, okay? So the black pants would probably be made out of some sort of, suiting fabric, or, some sort of pant kind of fabric. Could be like cotton or like mechanical cotton, I think it's called, or mechanical drill, something like that. Nice and sturdy, easy to wear. And for the shirt, that's probably going to be a cotton, and it's going to be long sleeved, and you will also have the cuff that is there as well. So those cuffs are they're old-fashioned ways of keeping the sleeve up so that they didn't fall over the hand. And so those ones are just kind of like, it's like a mini belt essentially. And so you're going to create like a little belt that you will tie and pull the sleeves up over so that it has that effect, but also it has a functional purpose as well. Then what you're going to do is the shoes are absolutely fabulous. So they are kind of boots or like ankle boots, and they are high-heeled. And they're such a fantastic high heel. I know that you can buy these online because Grell is such a, well-known character and a much loved character. But if you wanted to, you could certainly get a base shoe, and then you could certainly paint or dye the leather so that it's got the red and the black sections. Okay, and then you've got the laces down the front. At least they look like laces, or at least they're meant to be laces, so I would just do them as laces. So that is the shoe. Then we do have the beads. So we've got these the beads over here, and they are actually they look like they're two different beads with spaces on either side of the larger kind of black charcoal black kind of beads. So you've got like these dark brown beads that are smaller, that are 3, and then you've got a large black bead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say 10 or 11 of the large black beads. Okay, so 11 large black beads. Okay, and then you would need 22 spaces. So those spaces are you could get like silver spaces, and what they do is they just literally give a space between the large bead and the next bead. And they're just a little stylistic choice, which just kind of elevates and separates the beads from rubbing against each other. And then these ones are they're kind of like oval shaped. So you would get 3 times that. So let's say, I don't know, 33 to 40 of those ones. Okay. And then you would string those together and make sure that you're using some sort of beading cord or wire or something like that, so that it's going to be really stable and not break. Then you've got the vest. The vest is very interesting because this is something that you'll probably need to pattern out yourself. There's no commercial patterns that will help you with this, because the waistcoat actually goes down, and there are back reference images of that, and I do believe that it goes down and it doesn't connect up the back. It goes down, and so the back actually has like a collar that comes around here, but then the back comes around like this. So it's a halter top essentially. And so you have the collar, I lost my words there for a moment, that goes around, and that kind of sits freely, that you would need to make sure that it is connected to essentially some sort of base, so that all the raw edges are closed in on it, but then comes around and forms the front, which is a very straightforward kind of front. And I do believe the back is in black, but I can't say for certain because I'd need the reference image, which I don't currently have. But yes, so you could use like a waistcoat pattern as your starting point, and then essentially cut away the back and cut away the sides as well, so it's a much thinner up here and goes around. For the necktie, I would probably make this as like a cotton base with red ribbon like sewn over the top. Okay, and then for the jacket, I would make this as a normal red long jacket, taking into consideration the pointed collar, and you've got the bias binding or edging that goes all the way around. It's a pretty standard like long women's coat in this beautiful red, which I would probably do in some sort of suiting fabric, or a kind of like a lightweight wool would be quite nice as well. Keep in mind that these are real buttons, okay? And I would do them as real buttons on this particular version of the costume, okay? We've also got his classic red glasses, that's the word, along with the string that comes down and around his neck, which he always wears. Now, the wig. The wig is full and lovely because it's anime, isn't it? So for this, you would obviously need to style these spikes, and that would be done through steaming and hairspray and all of that good stuff. Maybe a little bit of glue on the edges to give that real crisp point. And then we've got that long red wig. To be honest, having it this long would suck because you're going to trip over it. Most of the time, Grell wigs stop around about here. We know what you're trying to do. It's absolutely fine. If you want to do the long wig, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Just be aware that you will need to brush out that wig all the time because it's going to get real knotted. It's also quite a full wig, so I would also recommend potentially doing a double wig, where that's two wigs that you weft together, and that will give you a whole lot of volume. So that's that one. Okay, we're not even going to talk about his teeth because you could certainly do the teeth if you wanted to. For that one, I am not qualified to give you any kind of pointers in relation to that because I don't know what is toxic and what is not, and I've never done something like that. I would say do your research, and certainly do something that you are not going to swallow and is not going to be toxic if you want to get those razor sharp teeth. And clearly, don't file your own teeth down. I only say that because I've seen someone actually do that. Not for the Grell cosplay, just in general, but it was horrendous and it still gives me nightmares. All right, let's talk about the first cosplay, which would be his butler. Okay, now, the first thing I will say is that the wig is obviously very, very different. I would honestly say, because this is such a tight kind of pulled back into a braid, I think it is, or it's a ponytail. Actually, I think it's a ponytail. with these beautiful ribbons, okay, you're not going to be able to fit this red wig underneath that. It is a case that what you will need to do is you will need to remove this wig and put this wig on. So it would have to be a wig that is easy to take off and the red wig to put on. The red wig to put on shouldn't actually be too much of an issue because there's so much hair that if it's not absolutely perfect when you put it on as a quick change, it still will be fine, especially if you have some sort of clips in the front. So for the red wig, you have clips in the front where you pull it on and shove the clips in, so it's not going to move around. The brown wig, you're probably going to do a lace front. Just make sure that you leave a fair amount of lace in the front so that you can pull it down and it kind of stays there until you pull it off. This is a theatre kind of trick that a lot of theatres do. They leave a fair amount of lace on the lace fronts, just for styling purposes, but also for quick changes. And obviously the big red bow in the back is something that would be attached to the wig and you would not undo it. Like you would make it and then you would essentially sew it into the wig and then it doesn't move. So yep, so red bow. There we go. Now for the glasses, okay, we've got the same chain and you're going to be like doing all this stuff with the wig, okay? Honestly, what I would probably do is, if it was me, I would have his red wig, his red glasses for the entirety of the situation. But what I might do is I might make a silver kind of frame that can click on top of it with the little magnets. And so when I do the transformation, it's just a case of clicking those off and, you know, putting them down so that the red will then shine through, if you so wish to do that. And that way the chain, it's not going to hopefully get caught too much. And I would probably wear the chain when I'm in butler form along the shirt collar, so that it doesn't get caught up in the coat. Now, for this, okay, I would say that his funky kind of waistcoat, and beads, I would just have that directly underneath the black. I would not make anything else underneath that because the black collar is gonna, if it is seen, is gonna fade into the black jacket. And so that's one less thing that you have to get on. So what you have to get off, other than the wig, which is gonna be your main problem, would be this jacket. Now this is a normal kind of men's kind of jacket, okay, or rather coat, should I say, because it's quite long. It's very plain. There is no bias binding that I can see of along here. It's just a plain black jacket / coat. So what I would say for this though is, for a quick change purpose, I would do fake buttons going down here. So these 5 I would do as fake buttons, and I would do probably like a Velcro or snaps that go down here where it's connected by the buttons, so that when it comes quick change, it's a case of just ripping that off, chucking it down, putting on the red jacket instead. Yes, we'll come back to that, but that is how I would do that to get it on and off very quickly. So fake buttons. And the last thing is the shoes. Honestly, as this is a quick change, I would not have different shoes. So I would do the same shoes. So I would either wear it as the red and the black shoes in this, or what I would do is I would have the red and black underneath, but I would cover this section. I'd make like a little wrap with some Velcro that I could just flick off, okay? And so when I flick it off, so it looks like it's all black, but then I can just flick that off and then there's that of red. So how I would do this, okay, with all of that in mind, is if I was the butler and I had this outfit on, I would go behind the screen while something is playing. First thing I do, rip off the jacket, rip off the wig, okay, put on the red jacket, so rip off the wig, then take off the boot kind of covers, and take off the frame. Then what I would do is I would put the jacket on, and then grab the red wig, chuck that on, go on stage. And honestly, I think that this was something that could be done within about 20 seconds. It takes practice, but it's definitely something that is achievable. I would even say less than 20 seconds if you got it down and you practice it like all the time. You could definitely do this. So that is how I would do Grell from Black Butler as a quick change from Butler to Reaper. Now, in terms of whether or not I think this would break me, no, nah. I've done quick changes before on stage. That is, something that I feel quite confident in. I have gone from a maid's outfit to a full ball gown with wings, like 3-meter wings in the space of 20 seconds. I have gone from a suit into a ball gown. And honestly, there are different tricks that you can do. And this one is not a complicated change up on stage. It definitely is something that would be challenging for someone who's never done one before, but I am very fortunate that I've done a few quick changes on stage and like behind a screen with very limited amount of time, either with help or without help. So and funnily enough, most of the time it's been Black Butler related. So I feel like I could do this. Am I going to do this? Nah, I'll let someone else do this, but thank you so much for this challenge. I always enjoy kind of breaking it down. In the comments below, make sure you tell me which character you would like to see me break down in one of these videos. Maybe I will in the future. Tell me if you like Grell as a character or what your favorite Black Butler character is. Mine is Lizzie. Love her. Will always love her. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.